Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of The Gavel, featuring attorney Ana Toledo. Ms. Toledo is the senior attorney and general counsel to Targeted Justice. She has a background in constitutional and environmental law and is an experienced litigator, including 2 cases at the U.S. Supreme Court. And here's Ms. Toledo.
Hello, and welcome to episode 62 of The Gavel, a podcast dedicated to delivering the latest news and critical updates to the global community of victims of government weaponization, alongside important developments about my mission in Washington, D.C. for freedom for all and freedom from modern-day slavery. Today is Friday, July 24th, and this episode constitutes a historic record of our plight and our fight for freedom from the most democratic and free government in the world that exports its torture to more than 6 million people around the world. I'm your host, Ana Toledo, an attorney with over 30 years litigating experience, specializing in environmental law, First Amendment law, and civil rights. I came to Washington, D.C. to expose and combat the illegal and unacknowledged special access program that is perpetrated by the CIA against the very best, all of you. As you know, my goal is to expose the program because once it is fully exposed, which is what we're doing every day, it can no longer operate. I am just so thrilled every time I ask someone today, do you know what a targeted individual is? And they answer, and they're like, yeah, 3 years ago, that was not like that. We have traveled such a long distance that the time is right. This is a great time to be alive because it is not only being exposed, but it will be shut down. So, as you know, the people in the United States probably will see freedom before the people outside of the United States. But we are never giving up at Targeted Justice, neither the Lighthouse, neither Dr. Bear, nor myself, or Dr. Priester. We're not stopping, or any of our officials or volunteers. That's when the real work begins, and we're very well aware of it. So I have to apologize. I'm exhausted. I've had a very hard week. Particularly, I had to move from the prior place I was living in. And you know how complicated, aside from the fact that I'm alone moving everything by myself, you know how complicated it is for a victim of government weaponization to relocate to a new place and try to feel safe. So I'm in that process now. So prayers are very much welcome. So buckle up, because this week, even though there haven't been many news specifically, there's a couple of news, but specifically on our plight for freedom, there's a lot going on that is not only relevant, but it's crucial to our fight. So please like, share, and subscribe. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me a lot with the censorship that we're having. Censorship in all platforms. You know, Dr. Bear, he has done a study, and he has been interacting with Grok a lot. And, you know, we really believe that there's, at least on X, there's like a platform we see, and then there's a platform for other people, for normies. So we just have to, you know, it is what it is. We just have to help each other and try to repost, subscribe, like, share, so that we can try to, you know, defeat them little by little. That's exactly what we're doing. So to begin with my invocation of the Holy Spirit, I wanted to start with a verse from Luke 1:37 that reads as follows: For with God nothing shall be impossible. And all of us, that if we had known what we were going to encounter in the past, what we're going to encounter in the future, we would have never even considered it was possible. I remember the words of a former professor of mine that told me, what is there to be done? This is a very powerful man, a man that has met presidents, a man that knows, has the largest contacts. He used to be a president of the soccer federation, United States Soccer Federation. And he said, what is there to be done? Sort of like, give up, give up. And I'm like, I refuse to give up. So we are here. And when we look back, we only see the grace of God, because for with God, nothing shall be impossible. That is exactly what each and every one of you sees as a testimony in your lives. And I just invoke the Holy Spirit, because the criminals are so desperate. As you know, last week, they barely made me, allowed me to do the show. And what I can tell you is that while it is very mortifying, because that's a word of both for you and for me, it's very mortifying. It's also very gratifying to know that these criminals are so obsessed. We live rent-free in their minds, all of you. They're so obsessed with every little thing that we all, as experimental subjects, do. I'm not saying that one is more targeted than the other. No, I'm saying they're just obsessed with every little detail of our lives, as if they had nothing else to do. But anyway, so let's go for this week. I'm going to start first with the newsletter, the Targeted Justice newsletter, that Sean is so gracious to do for us every week. And I really want you to follow him on social media, because Sean is doing a really great, we're trying to put out helpful videos with, content, actionable content for the community. This week we've had, he started with some from Richard. And so I really want you to follow Sean both on Facebook and on X, because he's doing amazing work and he's putting information out there that maybe you already know it because you've already heard us, but there might be people that need to hear it. So here it goes.
We need more hearings on MK Ultra, and you're able to make it happen. Contact Task Force Leader and Representative Ana Pauline Luna and let her know we need more hearings on MK Ultra. We also need you to reach out towards your state senator and congressman in regards to this as well. We have a list of their social media and a letter template to use in getting the best results. We've already done most of the work. We just need you to let them know that MK Ultra never ended.
Using the deflock app is how you find out that your town has more flock cameras than working streetlights. Flock's new safety plant is located in Georgia. Make sure you delete the app after downloading and looking at it. It could also be tracking you.
Under the direction of the Office of the Undersecretary of War for Research and Engineering, the Department of War officially renamed the Anomalous Health Incidents Cross-Functional Team, or CFT for short, to the Directed Energy Bioeffects, also known as DEBE, CFT. While the team continues to facilitate the multifaceted implementation of enduring processes, procedures, and capabilities, the department is fully meeting congressional intent regarding non-kinetic threats by applying a more dedicated warfighter and medical focus to this mission and expanding collaboration with interagency partners to coordinate vital research efforts. The department is prioritizing the care of affected personnel and has disbursed nearly $3 million in compensation. representing the first Havana Act payments made under any presidential administration. The department will continue to emphasize transparency and scientific integrity to achieve validated outcomes, improve care for affected individuals, and adapt to a dynamic operational environment. These steps toward normalization will accelerate integrated CFT and partner component initiatives. The Department of War's commitment to mitigating non-kinetic threats remains absolute.
Calling all digital warriors. Please repost, share, and like this video on all social platforms. Attorney Ana Toledo is being a representative for all targeted law-abiding citizens for Congress in order to end the torture program. However, she moved from the warm comfort of Texas to the cold streets of Washington, D.C. to do so. Please consider donating to the following link, which will provide her income while she is living out there, fighting for you. We still need volunteers. What skill sets do you have? Tell us by emailing tjustice2@proton.me, and in the subject line, put volunteer. We have over 500 videos of content on our Rumble channel, which benefits all TIs and helps spread awareness to the public. Do you know Targeted Justice has its own store? Buy something for yourself or give it to that special someone. You can buy different clothes, merchandise, and etc. by going to the following links. Please consider donating to our site or send a check. We're a non-profit organization, and donations are tax deductible. Every little bit helps. Thank you again for watching this video. God bless. God bless. God bless.
And thank you, Sean, and thank you all. And I just want to clarify something, that all the donations that are done for my work here, I don't earn a penny. I just get paid my room, my board, and the expenses of, going to Congress, etc. But I'm not earning a salary, and I think that is very important for you to appreciate, because not many people are willing to drop everything. And I could be, probably working in a job and earning a lot of money as, with my experience, but that's not what I want, because I want freedom for all. And so I am working here for everybody, even for those that do nothing but criticize, slander, and attack Targeted Justice and me. The book will be written and you will all be named. Anyways, I want to, before I go into the news for this week, I just want to give a huge shout out to one TI, and I don't have permission to use his name, but he flew in for the monthly meeting and he stayed for a week. And he went and visited Luna's office. He visited May's office. He visited Burchett's office. He put his money where his mouth is. I was so proud of him. I am so proud of him. And I am asking you to seriously consider coming for Targeted Action 2025, which will be between the 14th and the 17th. We're going to be probably, I'm going to be here, but the TJ team will probably come in 2 days earlier and leave 2 days later. But those 3 days, and why are we doing it those 3 days? Because people in Congress, they leave on Fridays, they come back on Monday, and they actually work at their offices and in the different hearings, etc., from Tuesday through Thursday. And so you want to be able to meet with them, even if they're, not participating in Luna's committee. We want to get the message across. MK Ultra never ended. You are my representative, and you have to fight to shut down this criminal program. So hello to everybody. It just makes me so happy to see everybody is in such a good and positive mood despite all the torture that we're all going, and I absolutely love it. Anyways, let's go for this week. This week, the former CIA director under Bill Clinton, here it is, he has passed away, and his wife has reported that he had Havana syndrome. Former CIA director James Woolsey, who served under Clinton, not the entire term, but some part of it. The wife is the one saying that he suffered from Havana syndrome. I say, being the CIA director under Bill and Hillary, well, maybe he had too many secrets that it was an inconvenience for him to be alive. So his wife told the New York Post that in years leading to his death Tuesday, former CIA director suffered from the mysterious ailment known as Havana syndrome. So he died at age 84 of a stroke. Probably the criminals went overboard with their microwave attacks. And he led the agency in the 90s. But here's what the woman said, which is very interesting. She said he had suffered for years. And I think that they're confusing the attacks per se with, I think she's confusing the condition with the attacks per se. She said, we have traveled the world trying to find a cure and a treatment. My interpretation is trying to escape the torture, which sadly we never found. Many TIs, they just go everywhere around the world thinking they can hide from this. And these satellites can track you anywhere you go. There is no hiding from this. That's why we need to shut it down. So Miss Conchita Sarnoff, the wife, the widow, said that they never found cure or treatment. She said that her husband's health began to deteriorate as a direct result of Havana syndrome, which produces symptoms that include ear pain, memory lapses, fatigue, migraines, dizziness, cognitive problem, and hearing loss. Sound familiar? And she said it never stopped. So unlike these other characters that like Lindsay and the other ones, that they don't talk. This is what's really weird. Some do and some, and obviously Dr. Bear is the expert. Like some of Mark Zaid's clients talk about continuous suffering, but others say it was just 3-4 incidents and that was it. So that more shall be revealed. But in this article, the New York Post says over 1,500 cases of Havana syndrome have been reported by American intelligence. But they don't bother. They don't care to report, but they're soon going to have to report on the civilian victims. Because I am telling you that I am certain civilian victims are many times over these 1,500 cases. Many times over. We all know that. That is why the government prohibited Dr. Hoffer from diagnosing civilians. He admitted it. The government doesn't let me. And that is why we're fighting in Bear versus CDC to have the Centers for Disease Control issue diagnostic guidance so that anywhere in the United States, in the smallest town with a town doctor, you can get diagnosed. Anyways, so that's it for that first, he's, I guess, the oldest casualty from Havana syndrome. Then Mark Lindsay, who is another State Department employee, he got a new judgment, a new payment. Well, actually, it was settlement for $650,000 for retaliation. Please bear in mind, this is not for the condition itself. He had settled a lawsuit against the State Department a while back, and then he alleged a campaign of discrimination, retaliation, and then he got this $650,000 because he alleges that he faced retaliation for blowing the whistle on Havana syndrome, a condition that numerous U.S. personnel overseas have suffered from under mysterious conditions. This is the dishonesty of the Mockingbird press. First of all, Dr. Giordano has already admitted to Catherine Herridge that the attacks are happening here in U.S. soil, not just overseas. So, but then again, it's New York Post. What can you expect? Nothing much. I'm just telling you the news. But he's so mind controlled that he insists that it's the Russians doing it. Like he really, it doesn't cross his mind that he is being attacked by the CIA. and the intelligence community in the United States. So he says that he's going to continue fighting, that there are 13 deep state bureaucrats at the State Department responsible for retaliation and covering up evidence. Here comes the best part. Covering evidence of these Russian pulsed microwave attacks. No, Lindsay, they're covering their own butts. That's what they're doing. They're not. Nobody in the United States is protecting the Russians, particularly at the State Department. But he doesn't. He's a CIA, a former State Department. That's all you have to say. Anyways, he says he will continue to work with Congress to hold them accountable. Now, Dr. Lambert, who wrote an excellent article today, I urge you to go check it out. This is his second settlement because in 2023, he reached an earlier deal with the State Department for roughly $460,000. And that agreement was supposed to end the discrimination and let him continue his career. But here is the problem. He's a targeted individual. He doesn't realize he's also a victim of gang stalking, organized harassment. It's not just, the PSYOP aspect of the MK Ultra that never ended. He hasn't connected the dots. But these people from the CIA, and State Department, they're so arrogant. They think that, no, that they're just above everybody else. He doesn't realize that this discrimination is nothing else but gang stalking in the workplace. How many of you don't have that every day, right? And you don't work at the State Department. So he and his family had already received more than $1 million. This is Lindsay, under the Havana Act for his injuries, which requires real medical findings. So anyways, the good thing about these two cases is that they continue to reinforce the fact that Havana syndrome is very real and that there's no more covering it up. It's inevitable. And that's why we're doing our part. This is why it matters for civilians. The recognition that Havana syndrome is a real condition, medical condition, unlike that professor in UPenn, Ken Foster, saying that it's people are imagining it or it's just environmental factors. Well, no, it's the recognition of Havana syndrome is very important for our community because once the diagnostic guidance for civilians is rolled out, it's going to be just another thing for everybody. It's going to be an entirely different scenario. Anyways, so much for Mr. May he rest in peace. He took the Bill and Hillary secrets to the they are arrogant to the moon. Absolutely. They're just so their IQ, it's not very high. Anyways, the deflock movement. This is the gift that keeps on giving. This is Christmas in July, and it is so exciting. They are accomplishing huge wins. This is a great opportunity. Let me share with you because I want you to check out the deflock page. I really, really want you to check it out, and I want you to get involved. And the reason for it is because these people are not just, as you know, not just collecting local groups. You can belong to, look at all these local groups they have in Alabama, deflock Birmingham, Arizona, that I know there's so many of you there. California, look at this. This is amazing. Colorado, Eyes of Colorado, Connecticut, District of Columbia. Oh, I have to join that. Florida, Georgia. Well, you have to look at them. Just go to their websites. And I think that the important role that we play, this is deflock.org. groups. So the role that we play with these groups is that we are going to be able to let them know what this is going to turn into, because it's already happened with us, right? So it's really a great opportunity for you to red pill normies, to distribute flyers, let them know MK Ultra never ended. This is the program being rolled out to all of you. Okay. And so join a local group, get involved. And then there is another page you want to check out. And it is, if you have been flogged, it is a web page that you can put in there. I just discovered it today. So I'm going to check if I have been flogged. And you can check there. Here, don't just check, fight back. You can put there your license plate, and you can find out. It's called haveibeenflocked.com. And then you can check when and where and how much have you been flocked, which I think it's amazing. These people are really on the deflock.org has a lot of resources for you to go to your city council. They have forms for you to write a FOIA request to your town. And it's now, don't we cannot lose sight of something. Okay. Yes, exactly. Jim has exactly. That's what I'm going to be talking about. So while the deflock people, I just want to show this because Facebook is back to their shenanigans. Facebook, they opened a Facebook page and they immediately eliminated that page. But Jim has a good point, and it's the following. Do not be mistaken. Flock is just one. Probably it's the one that has the most cameras, but there are many others that I'm going to talk about in a little while. There are good signs. Look at this. My favorite, one of my favorites, Tim Burchett. He is asking into banning the camera. He is saying that he wants them. He introduced the Protection Against Mass Surveillance Act. It aims to ban federal agencies from purchasing or using federal funding for flock cameras and similar automated license plate readers. He has publicly called for banning them and urged people to contact their representatives in support. Then we have other ones that I'm going to mention to you, so that if they are your representatives, please call them, write to them. We have Keith Self from Texas. I love him. He was one of the big, huge, loud voices against FISA 702. He introduced the Privacy Act, Protecting Rights in Video and Equipment Acquire Discovery Act. It would require federal law enforcement to obtain a warrant before accessing flock ALPR data, create a federal list of surveillance technologies, and restrict the use of federal funds to purchase or install such systems. We also have another one is a bipartisan bill that was submitted by Scott Perry for the restriction of flock cameras. And the only Democrat, and I don't want to rain on Democrats, but they are absent from this debate in protection of the Fourth Amendment because they think there's nothing wrong with that until it has to do with the Antifa and their side. But so Mr. Garcia co-sponsored the bill to a major highway funding bill that it would have banned recipients of federal highway funds from using these style of cameras. For us, what matters is that this information, the flock has admitted that they are sharing it with the fusion centers. And we don't know what kind of thing those people do there in those fusion centers. So while I don't think they will be entirely eradicated, it is my hope that one, cities continue to cancel the contracts, and two, that they are very regulated. Now, huge wins are happening because this flock movement has triggered a lot of things. Look at this. This Jason Bassier, he's one of the most ardent fighters against flock. And some people say, well, maybe he's being funded by flock's competitors, which could be, but I don't know that. What I do think, for example, the flock CEO, Garrett Langley, he's such an arrogant person, because I'm not going to curse here. So Flock Safety CEO Garrett Langley is apologizing for previously calling privacy activists, specifically the group deflock, a terroristic organization. In a September 2025 interview with Forbes, Langley labeled deflock a crowdsourced effort that maps the company's automated license plate readers, cameras, and supports local opposition to them as terroristic. However, this entire movement made him, on July 17th, 2026, in a Forbes interview, he walked that back amid growing public backlash because people were hating this man with his arrogance and his stupidity against the flock's nationwide network of cameras valued at $8.3 billion, saying, "My comments were a mistake and I apologize." He added that some groups have real valid criticisms of the business and that the company is trying to balance safety and privacy after listening to critics. Of course, we don't believe him, but he's trying to save face. Now, this comes in midst because people are paying attention. Cities, towns are canceling contracts. Police have been caught in various states using these cameras to stalk their former girlfriends and for improper purposes. These cameras have been are pointing at toddlers' playgrounds. What are these sick police doing, and these people looking at toddlers' playgrounds in kindergartens? So I think that this is not going away. However, I'm going to talk a little while about the other companies. The other good news he puts in there, Thiel is fleeing for Argentina. As you know, Peter Thiel, who is the founder of Palantir, and I thought he was like a majority shareholder, but preparing here for you, he only owns 3% of Palantir because BlackRock is a much bigger shareholder. However, his 3% shares are worth 8.47 billions. He has moved to Argentina, and I know for a fact that he was in the tax haven of Puerto Rico, my beloved island, and something where they only pay 4% in personal income tax and no federal income tax, and all these incentives from the government. So something very compelling had to force him to go to Argentina. The next thing he reported here is that the LAPD canceled its flock contract. While they didn't really cancel it, what they did was that they let it expire. It was signed in 2023, a 3-year contract, and they allowed it to expire rather than renew it. The chief information officer said this contract is not being renewed because of serious concerns around civil liberties and civil rights issues, particularly around privacy and the data that is being collected from these cameras. Another of the problems is that Flock is selling the data to credit companies, to private, to third. It's not just for safety. They're just making money off it. So the key sticking points include who owns the data collected by the cameras. Of course, Flock owns it and sells it and resells it. How is the data stored, secured, and shared, and potential access by other agencies? And the lack of a sufficiently clear contractual protections for privacy and accountability. That's all intentional. But now the people in public office are forced to look into it, because otherwise they're going to be ousted. So they're going to pause the readers, the license plate readers, until those issues are ironed out. And LA is a huge city, so that's going to be very that's a huge dent for Flock. So like Jim mentioned here, it's not just Flock. There are other companies that are profiting off the police state that has been just rolled out to the entire population. I really believe that this entire surveillance state is the rolling out of a program to everybody. Because if you misbehave, guess what's going to happen to you? It's like the Chinese credit system. So learn these names, in my humble opinion, learn these names and file FOIAs with your cities, because Flock competitors might be the ones pushing for the anti-Flock movement because they want to get into their place. So it's not like if the Flock cameras are removed, it's not going to go away. We need to cut it from the root. So the biggest other ones, which I learned preparing for this, are Motorola Solutions. These are really bad. These are Motorola, so Axon, Record, Genetec, Verkada, Avidian, everybody. You know how security firms were like the boom, like the money-making thing, having these cops, private cops everywhere? Well, this is now it. And so there are at least 15 of these companies that are trying to get the Flock out of the way so they get in there. And what you need to do is get with that deflock movement and make sure that it's not just against deflock, but against the other cameras as well. These systems are widely deployed by police agencies, municipalities, private property owners, HOAs, highway transit, and businesses. And I add the fusion centers. We know it. We know that because they admitted it. They admitted that the fusion centers are involved in this entire surveillance thing. And it makes sense, because since they no longer have FISA 702, that every month they have less and less people whose communications they can intercept. Because even though the March 2026 FISA court opinion said, oh no, it's going to go for another year, the truth is that those warrants, FISA under Section 702, that have expired after the deadline, the expiration of FISA, those cannot be renewed. So this is one of the ways, and purchasing data, that the criminals are continuing to get away with it. Motorola Solutions, it's also called Vigilant Solutions, is the primary traditional competitor and holds a leading position in the larger law enforcement enterprise segment. Flock is more neighborhood watch. In fact, that is how they are sold to these companies, that neighborhood watch is full of perps watching you and reporting on the terrorists living next door, right? So Motorola operates one of the largest commercially available ALPR databases in North America. So, and they not just only do the license plate thing. So we are counting on you all. This is a great opportunity for us to fight alongside normies for the Fourth Amendment. And then in that process, you can let them know what's coming, because this program is for everyone. We now know that Apple's earbuds are capable of reading brain waves. We now know that the self-assembling nanotechnology in the COVID jab and in the dental anesthetics is to do nothing but mind control. We now know that there is mass subliminal messaging happening through cell towers. And this is an amazing opportunity for us to expose this criminality So I urge you, roll up your sleeves and go to your city or town deflock meetings. Axon. Axon is a fast-growing challenger, particularly for citywide contracts and agencies. So when you go protest flock, you also protest. When you go protest flock, you protest Motorola, Axon, and everything that reeks of surveillance. Okay. So right now, Flock dominates the distributed fixed camera neighborhood watch model, and Motorola dominates the traditional law enforcement intelligence networks and historical data volume. So there you have it. We have to continue fighting for our Fourth Amendment. But the good thing is, and this is what is amazing for us, that almost every American is against these cameras, because they are seeing the abuse that is happening with them. And that is a good thing for us. That is a triumph. So the movement is going through unprecedented, it's growing exponentially. Anyways, criminals are really, really nervous. They are stealing the files of some people that have completed their Privacy Act request. I urge you, please, if you haven't sent yours yet, please do so. They are actually stealing the papers, and they stole actually from one of my things. They stole some of mine, but I urge you to scan them. Aside from having the paper copy, scan them and have them saved in different places, because they are very nervous, and they should be, because they're gonna have to answer to a court of law. Ana, let me take this question here. Let me see. Oh, this is a perp. I'm not, Kathy, I'm sorry. I don't answer. If you haven't watched my Gavels and you don't read my Substack, this is not a time for me to explain to you all the strides that we have made. I am absolutely certain that for the work that we have done during the last year, the MK Ultra hearings would not have happened. But that's just what I have observed, because I observed when I came back in November, not even in November, as recent as March, how the entire attitude, reception from people in Congress had entirely shifted. And I'm absolutely certain that is all of you digital warriors, all of us at Target Justice. I mean, I've been knocking on doors, hundreds of doors, and talking to people. So, Kathy, I'm sorry that you cannot, that you're probably some gang stalker. Anyways, let me continue here. So please do your Privacy Act. Now, the banner, I have to give kudos to Ortain and to the Lighthouse. They collaborated in this beautiful banner. Where, as I said, targeted action is going to be from the 14th to the 17th. I need banner holder. I need, some of you are going to do appointments with your congressperson or your senator, but we need to be holding these banners out there. I already have only two volunteers that want to come the week before on the 8th and 9th with me. But please, please sign up. Consider, this is the best moment to come for any TI to come to DC, and I am telling you why. Because when the Targeted Justice team came first in May of 2025, the entire narrative was completely different. The people could not be less interested. We did get to meet with Holly's office, with May's office. We did get to meet with a few of them. But the reception is not like it's happening now. Now it's completely different. So I really urge that you make an effort. And I know you would want it to be on a weekend, but on a weekend they are not here. And you want to try to meet with your congressman, woman, or senator. Anyways, so I want to advertise that for TI events. Their second annual Michigan-Ohio TI Community Picnic and Barbecue is happening on August 28th, 2026 in Westerville, Ohio, Columbus area. Please go to tievents.org for more information. For those of you that have never attended a TI activity, it just feels so good to be able to speak to people about the same things that you're going through. I really urge those people in that area, Michigan, Ohio area, to try to show up and stop pointing fingers at because that's some people that came to one woman in particular that came to Targeted Action last year. She was calling everybody a perp, and that's just not the point of it. The point of it is for you to develop friends, to develop a support group with whom you can speak about these things that you can normally not speak with anybody else. Because some of these things, when you talk about them, it's very hard for somebody who's not going through them to understand. So anyways, Targeted Action, please follow Sean and repost his content because he is doing amazing work as a digital creator, and he is being extremely censored because he's putting out there the truth. So please try to follow Sean, both Facebook and Twitter. And again, thanks to Jim at Real Coffee Jim on X that he's putting every day the reminder for us to go into the 5-minute meditation, which you can calculate it depending where you live, but it's at 12 noon Eastern time. Put your own alarm in your phone and just 5 minutes, stop scrolling the phone. Let's make an effort. I think it can make a difference for, with God, everything can be done. And with him in our team, we're guaranteed to win. It's just a matter of time. And the more effort you put into it, the better it'll be. Anyways, thank you all that have supported my stay here in DC, my fight for freedom for all of you. Without your support, it would not be possible. And I'm, as I've said before, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere until the last TI is free. This next week is going to be really good because I'm going to be hitting Congress again, and I'm working on a document that I'm going to be giving away. So it's banner the city. Yeah, well, we need people to come in. We're going to have a couple of banners, but I think that this banner is very powerful, and we need people to come help us with the banners. Regarding Jill, I have to say the following. Jill TJ at proton.me. She just, we love the FBI criminals. They are replying now, but don't take it as a real thing, that they're going to answer by 2029. This is way after Trump has left office, because Kash Patel does not want to admit to the criminality that is still happening today under his watch, because he knows it's happening, because he wrote the government gangsters, and in there he said that that a church committee has to be paneled again. And now he not only forgets it, he allows the FBI criminals to continue with their abuse, and the InfraGard criminals to continue with their abuse. So yeah, Jill TJ at proton.me, she is very, very good she's a professional, and she's a professional editor, and you have to pay her. It's not free, and it's not part of Targeted Justice. But I do have to say that it is her prerogative to accept or decline working for anyone, because she has a lot of work and it's cyclical. So you have to ask her, but she's definitely the person to go to. Okay. Anyway, hi Craig. It's so good to have you here. We're going to be in the Australia call. The Lighthouse and I are going to be in the Australia call soon. So hope you can join us. Yes, Penny, it's very overwhelming, but see, we have become, I know that we have become so much stronger. Many of us, nothing scares us anymore. We have become so courageous. Nothing scares. Think about it. What are you scared of? I'm not, I'm not, very little things scare me right now. The important thing is to continue walking in a straight path and not let them entrap you into crimes. Be very vigilant. Be super careful, extra careful with everything. To not let them harm you, because these are cowards that they can only do so much. If they were so all powerful, I wouldn't be in DC. Targeted justice wouldn't exist. And that is why they mind control some people to attack us, because we are over the target. And that's what criminals do. Anyway, well, thank you so much. I know that next week is going to be like huge. So I really hope you can join me and next week. And thank you for being here. Blessings to all of you. And thank you for your patience. Good night.